Hello, my name is Briquette, and I'm joined with Michael. We did our project over the Inc. 5000 list. We wanted to do our project over the Inc. 5000 list because we are finance majors, as well as analytics majors. So we thought this would be something that we were both interested in. For anybody that doesn't know what the Inc. 5000 list is, it's a list of America's fastest growing privately held companies, and it ranks them by their growth percentage, so how much they've grown over that past year.
All right, so the first visual here that we can see is a little map to show the top 10 companies based off of rank. And like Burkett said, all the companies on this list are broken down by growth percentage. That's how they're ranked. So we can see the top 10, with the first one being Freestar and the 10th being Nam here.
Okay, now we've got a list of the companies by state. So it ranks all the companies that are on the list. It's got them all in by state. We chose to do it like this through an interactive form because we didn't want it to be a super clustered graph, and we thought it'd be a cool way for it to be interactive. As you can see right now, the state that's being highlighted is New York. And now if you want to switch over to California. California is also another state that we wanted to highlight. We're highlighting these bigger states because they've got bigger cities in them, and more companies tend to be in these bigger cities. Just like if you press Illinois, Chicago as well, you see that that's a hot spot and a hub for these companies. Most companies want to have their headquarters in a bigger city. Just works better for them. So that's just another interactivity thing that we've got for our project.
Next, for the industry overview. So this takes into account all 5,000 companies that are on the list and sums them up by whatever industry that they're assigned to. So the largest industry that all the companies are on is the business products and services, with a count of 492 companies out of the 5,000, followed by advertising and marketing, and then construction being the third highest.
Next, we've kind of got an analysis of the top 10 companies. It shows we've got it by growth, showing the differences within the growth percentage. As you can see, the top one is 36,000, and then the 10th one is 11,000. That's a big difference and a big jump between them. Just wanted to highlight that. Another thing we wanted to highlight was the top 10 companies by the amount of workers that they have. We've got another interactive visual. If you hover over or click on the companies, it'll show you how many workers that they have. And as you can see, the number one company's got 155,000 and the number 10 company's got 10,000. Again, another big discrepancy there. So most companies won't be as many as 10,000 or even 150,000. These are just the really bigger privately held companies. And it makes sense because a lot of privately held companies will have a lot less employees than most companies that we would see that are publicly traded.
All right, so now these are the bottom 10 companies. Like Burkett just alluded to, these companies that are on the bottom end of the list only have one worker. So this indicates that they are entrepreneurs and most likely having, being self-made. So they are still trying to grow and build their brand up to the top end of the list. One thing also to note for the bottom companies by revenue here, they only generate about 5.8 million, and going to the bottom of this with NFI Industries just generating around $2 million per year, whereas some of the other companies were generating over $1 billion in revenue a year.
Yeah, and this is also another interactive that we've got. This interactivity is linked between the two bar graphs that you see here. The one on the left shows the top 10 companies, and then the one on the left shows the bottom 10 companies by revenue. And if you press the interactive scale, it shows it by the amount of years that they were on this list. This list changes every year, but these companies just happen to be on this list multiple times. That also just shows that they've chosen to stay private instead of going public for all these years. And I think it's a pretty cool interactive thing that shows here.
To kind of conclude, one of the main takeaways that we noticed was that since the list is compiled and the overall determining factor for this list is growth percentage, when we looked at revenue, number of employees, and Yeah, those two. The main two factors were not correlated with the growth percentage in any way. Um, Additionally, when we were looking at the overall growth percentage, the top 10 companies by growth percentage compared to the bottom 10 companies, there's a difference between 24,684%, which is a very large difference and just shows how much room the bottom companies on the list have to grow to compete with the companies on the top of the list. Um, that's kind of some of the main takeaways that we wanted to highlight and address, but there are a few others here on the slide that you can read through. And thank you for tuning in and listening to our presentation.
Yeah, thank you.